Hey guys, we finished our work on Travis picking, going outside of the Hal Leonard book and finishing the section in Hal Leonard book 3, and now they have one brief page on drop D tuning. Although this is the only example they give, they're talking about alternate tunings where we change the pitch of one or more of our strings to create different harmonic effects, sometimes entire chords. There's something called G tuning, where if you strum the guitar, you get an entire G chord. That's kind of a Dolly Parton tuning, and I think maybe Joni Mitchell uses it as well. Drop D tuning drops this E note to a D note, just one tone down. And then instead of Eddie 8 Dynamite Goodbye Eddie, we've got a D here. So this E becomes a D. The way I generally do this is I hit the 6th string E at the same time as the 4th string D. Of course, they're going to be dissonant. While they ring together, I'll drop the E note to a D note and listen for the vibration. This is a good moment to talk about tuning. For me, tuning isn't as much about trying to match pitches, like trying to get as high or as low as a pitch, but to eradicate the vibrations and the dissonance that occurs between them. You may hear that here. Here's the dissonance between E and D. I'm going to drop this E note a tone so it sounds like a D. What will happen is the dissonance will be building and building and then disappear. The vibrations will get quicker and disappear. I'll try in basically one fell swoop to get rid of the dissonance. Now you can hear there's a little bit of waver between them. So I continue to work on that note. While it rings, I don't keep hitting and hitting and hitting it. I'll tune it down and up and down and up and just fudge it around until that dissonance disappears. Basically it's gone there. If I went further, you hear it gets bad again, gets nice again, gets bad again. So I'll just fine tune in there. When I want to come back to E, I'll hit the high E string and the low E string and scoop them back up together. Right now they're dissonant. Other people will tune to the fourths. E and A sound good together. Everything below E sounds bad. Until we get this to a D, D's and A's sound nice. Now they ring beautifully together and I've got a D again. When I want to go back up to E, I'll start turning it, it'll get bad again, and as it comes up and gets good, when we go through that dissonance, we're getting back to the E. E and A will sound nice, they're fourths, perfect fourths, and D and A will sound nice, they're perfect fifths. That's your drop D. The idea is we've got a nice deep note that will go with D chords. So then I can hit the D and the A, then the regular D of a D chord and the A. So we got 2 A's. I've got a D on the bass, the 4th string and the 2nd, and then the F sharp finally on top. So just like that, you can add one note to your D chord and get a nice drone on it. And their examples here would be to play a D chord there. That little 3 on top is a sus. So we'll play 8th notes. This is called a pop rock tune. 1 and 2 and 3. Just arpeggiate up the chord with a sus and then remove the chord to come back down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. The open E makes it a sus 2. Then a C to an A to a G. And we're back to the beginning. They wrote it twice, then used a repeat sign, basically asking us to play it 4 times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. grunge song here, I'm going to stay on my acoustic, but of course, grunge music is played on an electric with a distorted sound, probably chorus or some flange to create that watery sound that they have, kind of a swirling effect. This is a very popular way to play drop D. You know our power chords look like roots and fifths, but now these two notes are tuned a fifth apart. So power chords don't have the notes sticking out, they have them in alignment. So a D power chord, this D and this A, would be a D5. So you get a lot of songs playing that. And then some palm mute, by the way. And then if you lay down on the threes and play the two low notes, or even three strings, you get an F power chord, a G power chord. A is known to be at the 5th fret, but we're drop D, the string is lower than it should be, so A is now at the 7th fret. So A is a power chord with just a bar. That flat 5 or sharp 4 is used a lot in dark music, and you recognize it, of course, from even Smoke on the Water. If I played Smoke on the Water in drop D, I'd play these opens, the 3s, the 5s, and the 6. You can see the ease of it. Also, being in drop D creates a darker, more ominous sound. Bands then, in fact, would play in drop D and then tune the whole guitar down another half step, so we're in drop D flat, or tune it down some more, drop C. I'll use all down strums and a palm mute. 1 and 2 and 3 and. So we have, these are eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. So the F, that darkness, is a flat 3 major chord put into the D scale. You know that from a lot of songs we did where we would say, well, it's kind of bluesy. It's also just dark for grungy and metal music. So D, D, F, G, F, D, D. F, D, D. I'll repeat that. But I've written first and second ending, so this F, D, D will be replaced by G, A flat, which is the flat 5, G. So we get G, A flat, G, open D, which allows us to move our hand to the F, G, on quarter notes. Ba ba da ba da da. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So here from the beginning, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And in all your examples, just end on D. I think this folk pop song is drawing its inspiration from Dear Prudence by the Beatles. If I started to try to analyze it, I'd see a C note and a D. I might say that's a C add 9. With the G note it is, but then there's an open D in it, so it's another D note. So maybe we're thinking C add 9, and then a G chord, then the D string with a high D note, and then G chord again. If you tried to nail down all the different harmonic structures, that's the kind of thinking you'd probably wander into. But as you play through the song and see that only the first note is changing, we're getting a descending bass note, C, B, so that's like a G over B, B flat, so that's a B flat chord, and the A, which is an A chord of sorts, or a D over A. This is also a grungy sound as well. Also, you hear these chords with the C to the B flat in Led Zeppelin, Over the Hills and Far Away, or The White Room by Cream. In this case, what ends up happening when you hear all of this, recurring. It's like this whole ostinato over a changing bass note. You realize it's all one harmony, which is basically like this floating Dsus. We have a D and a D and a D. Somewhere along there we'll get an A. So the G in the middle of it is creating a sus4 on the D. So it's a D sus4 in my ear over C, over B, over B flat, over A, C bass, B, B flat, and A. Also, since we just finished Travis picking, notice that this is actually going to be performed as basically a Travis pick song. We can do the C with the thumb, middle finger on the second string, as Travis picking generally does, fourth string thumb, index on the third. That's your Travis pick pattern, except we're not pinching these two notes, which you don't have to do in Travis picking. So here it is again. I'll just name the bass notes again. C, B, B flat, A, C, G over B perhaps, B flat 6 with a flat 6, C or D7, G over B, B flat with a flat 6, A sus, and I'll end on the D. Now I want to tune back, so I can hit the high E and the low E together, or I can tune by fourths. So I'd like to do it in one swoop if I can. Yep, nailed it. So I went from good through the bad notes to a nice vibration. I just checked my tuner and I'm dead on the E there and still on the A. So that's what I listen for. And then the standard guitar trick is check that you like your G chord. If you like your G, you're probably in tune. Alright, I'm going to probably erase some of that talk about tuning. Have a good one, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.